Hey, yo, what's up? This is your boy, Sirr of 2020 Podcast. And today I got some of my great colleagues and friends here today to discuss a topic that kind of popped up out of nowhere. And I felt so strongly about it, I decided to bring it to a round table of my peers. So with that being said, I would like everybody to kind of introduce themselves. I guess we'll go in the order that we're displaying here. So if you could, we'll start from the top.
August, your boy Eternity, aka Mr. Everlasting from the Safe Word 2020 Podcast Network. What's up?
Hey guys, this is Lauren, owner of Mind, Body, and Wellness Nutrition, and I am here to give you the real.
Well, I am Valencia. I am owner of Yours Truly Cosmetics and Beauty Co., and I am also here to give you a little insight on the truth. The truth.
Well, hey everybody, my name is Ebony of 2020 Podcast. Just coming on here to say what I gotta say, and then we're gonna see what it do.
Hey, well, last but not least, my name is Malcolm Thaddeus. I am here from the Great Fandoms Anonymous. It's lovely to see you all. Back to you, Jeremy.
And we're back. All right, no, but seriously, that was a topic that Malcolm had on his page on Facebook that really gained a lot of ire and attraction. It was a meme that really focused on Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover. It showed that him with his, I believe, was it his wife? Is he married to her? With his wife, who was Caucasian, and he was picking up his daughter. And it was kind of giving a negative, derogatory remark about him portraying being woke, but also being married to a white woman. So a woman shared it and was saying, Black women are not attractive, are not attracted to the nerdy/weird types. And so that kind of sparked a debate that I felt like we were having it via text, which is cool, but I felt like this is more of a dynamic we should have verbally. And so I reached out to you guys and y'all answered the call. So I appreciate you before we even got started. So I want to kind of give everybody their chance to kind of speak on what they think about the stigma that comes with being a nerd.
Okay, so, I was saying that the person that I am now is completely different from the person that I was in school. I went to I'm not going to say predominantly white, but it was probably like 65-35 elementary school. I went to a prep school for middle school. So high school was the first time that I had really been around majority of my peers. But I dated one person, literally for 4.5 years. And I like to say that, I always say that I'm the most known unknown, and I think it's because people truly have a tendency, like people, but they're not necessarily popular. They don't run into popular crowds. They don't do the things that popular quote-unquote kids did. But like I was active in everything. I was president of a service club. I was playing baseball. I was pretty much in everything I could get my hands in. But it didn't make me popular. So I think the first time that I really met somebody that appreciated my quirkiness, outside of high school, I was probably a freshman in college, in a different city with a mess of people from all across the globe, honestly. And when you meet people from all across the globe like that, you tend to find people that you mesh with better than the people that are in your hometown, because these are just the people that you are constantly around. I think that's why people kind of move when they say they want to start over, is because it's like no one knows me. And I guess it's like a chance to reinvent yourself. But that's my experience, being the quirky or nerdy type of person, not being in the in crowd. I think overall it made me a stronger person. It made me a more creative person, because when you don't hang with a bunch of people and you only hang with a few people, you tend to surround yourself with like minds, and those like minds stimulate ideas, cultivate people, create a culture within itself. So that's my take.
I speak from a perspective of kind of what females look for, or what kind of, what sparks a female's interest in guys, because I don't have a type, and I prefer guys that actually can hold a conversation and that present themselves a certain way. And with today's society, I don't see an issue with a nerdy guy. I have a son, and he's 8, and he's totally a nerd. I would not sway him any different from that. I don't want him to be something that he's not. Normally, I feel like normally the nerdy guys are guys that are not as culturally versed as other people get a bad rep, but that's not it. Like some of the things that interest other crowds, like DeAndre was saying, you know, they don't interest that person. They are quirky. They are into other things. And my perspective is, the more that you're into, most times the more introverted you are, because you feel like people want to accept that. So that same quirky person that you cut out, or that you don't want to date or whatever, that person normally is into everything, that you like. It's normally an artsy person or something like that, very talented. So I feel like those type of people automatically, stand out. So I look at it totally different. And that's only because I grew up, since I guess we're all from Mobile, right? Are we all from Mobile? Want to go?
All of us but one.
Okay, well, a lot of people in Mobile know each other from going to high school with each other or whatever it is. I went to Murphy, so automatically I get crossed off the list. You know what I mean? So I know exactly what guys, feel when they're going through, oh, well, I'm too nerdy for that person. Because I'm not as culturally versed as everybody else, because I didn't grow up that way. So I don't knock the person that's, the awkward person, or the more, into books person, or, the nerdy guy. I don't cross that person out. I think they have a fair chance, because I'm low-key a nerdy person as well. I've just learned to be more extroverted because I like to, mingle with certain people. But I don't see a issue at all with Childish Gambino marrying somebody of a different race, but he's so woke. Because being woke is about being woke with yourself. It's not about Xing out somebody else because of their skin color. It's about knowing who you are and accepting it and rolling with that. So I think that he did get a lot of flack for having a white wife, but at the same time, his child that he has, honestly, is not even white. He or was it a daughter? She's not even white. She's not considered white anymore. So he has to be able to get that over to her about her own self. You know what I mean? So I don't think that that's something that should be a factor, but it definitely is. I like it. I like it because I don't have a type of guy. If we click, we click. You could be a nerd. You could be, anybody. As long as, you are smart and you use the brain that God gave you. If that's what determines your whole existence and your being, especially in the dating pool. So I don't feel like him, his whole marriage situation should be an issue, but it is. So I don't know. I feel like it's okay. I would have went for the DeAndre over the thugs at school, or the people who was always, up in front of everybody or whatever. I would have went for that because I like it. So I'm just saying, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. And as a female, that's how I feel. It doesn't matter. But some people do have a type. Some people stereotype. They automatically X that person out. But like I said, I have a son, and not by any means necessary am I encouraging him to change who he is for anybody, a female, a guy, a friend, or whatever it is. You got to be your true, authentic self. And I think that's what the whole thing should be about, rather than what it looks like. Because that's what everybody equates to being woke, what it looks like. They feel like if you woke, you got to do this, you got to walk like this, you got to have this, you got to be spiritual, you got to do this. You don't. You got to just basically accept who you are as a part of your race and understand the struggles and stuff like that. But the geeky part, no, that's lit. Being a geek is lit. Every geek I know is lit.
Hey, thank you for that. Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that. In the sense, I do want to pose something to you though. Do you think, because you identify yourself as a woman who's a nerd yourself, do you think that opens your view to dating a nerd male?
Opens my view, as in
like makes you
what do you mean by opens my
more
view?
open-minded to it. Like you mentioned that you understand the plight of someone like DeAndre who didn't grow up around, fully understanding the culture, being, kind of to yourself, more like finding your own crowd later in life. Seeing that you're more identified with that, do you think that maybe shaped your taste in, being more open-minded with men?
No, because women don't necessarily. I don't care what no woman tell you. Period. I'm about to be 33. Women do not have a type. Okay, it's not about a type. It's about how you make a woman feel. So it doesn't matter.
Can I get a signature next to that statement?
You can. I'll send it to you. We can do a DocuSign on it. Okay? But I'm being honest. It's like, it's not about that. It's about you being intellectual. You making a woman feel a certain type of way, because at the end of the day, that's all you really need. So, like I said, when somebody's stereotyping someone because they're a quote-unquote geek or a nerd, it's because of more than likely the physical appearance of that. It's not, oh, well, he's a geek. He makes all A's, or he reads books, or he does this. I don't want to talk to him. It's not normally that. It's normally the appearance of the geek. Because think about it. When we was little, we watched movies with geeks in it, but the nerds and the geeks always had glasses. They always had their pants up to their waist. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, dang, oh, you're a geek. I don't want to date you. But in reality, that's not a geek. That's just a kid in college, in elementary school or middle school that's doing this. Think about it. Guys don't dress themselves like that for school in elementary and middle school. Their parents do. So their parents throw them on those clothes. Their parents make them less desirable to the women. It has nothing to do with them being a geek at all. I have 2 nephews and a son. They're all geeks, all different levels of geeks. My son is he might be he's different than my older nephew who's a geek. My older nephew is a geek. He makes straight A's, but he's a jock. My other nephew, he's not a jock. He makes straight A's. They look totally different, but they're not in the culturally versed crowd. They didn't grow up that way. That doesn't change who they are. That just changes what they're interested in. So it doesn't change, me as far as what I'm interested in, because I don't have a type. I go for how we mesh together. That's what I'm saying about women and their perspective, because women want to go places in life, as men do too. So women don't want a guy who's everybody in the city knows that you got on the Gucci and you got on this, but you don't know how to start no business. But I guarantee you, the geeky guy does. Probably knows how to start it, run it, be his own accountant, and everything else in it. So, no, yes, it does open me up more to want to date a geek, but I'm not looking for a geek. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 1000%. I appreciate you clarifying that, real talk, because you just dropped a bomb on me. I'm gonna be real with you. I've always been under the assumption that women had a set archetype that they really was going for. And this is where I'm gonna bring in Malcolm on this conversation here, is because Malcolm, you and I have had numerous conversations and jokes about situations like this. Like we'll in passing make little cracking jokes and be like, yeah, she looking for a nigga with a sleeve tattoo and about 2 misdemeanors. Like we'll crack that type of joke, but we'll be serious. Malcolm, do you feel, based on what Valencia just said, do you agree with Valencia? Let me just say that, bro.
Oh, hello there, people. All right. So me, straight up nerd. I mean, look behind me. I mean, look at all this stuff in this room on the side of me. Like, that's me all day, every day. I'm gonna touch on what you said But I'm gonna say something about what she said. First of all, shout out to Murphy, gang, class '09 in this thing. So she said women don't have a type. There was this girl in high school. I was in love with this girl, and now that I've gotten older, I'm gonna take away the in love. I was just highly infatuated with this girl. This girl told me that she only date football players. Now, mind you, like she said, the appearance. Now, this girl, she was cute in the face, but she wasn't. But that's what she went for. Whenever that football nigga wouldn't do her right, she won't come snuggle up under me like I'm supposed to be Dr. Fix. You know what I'm saying? And then when the football nigga come back in the picture, she want to slide back to the football nigga. That's what she told me. She said, I only date football players. Now she about to legit get married to a football player. I mean, you go for what you go. Kobe Bryant said, you miss half the shots you don't take. R.I.P. Kobe. So, anyways, to what you said, yes, we have these jokes all the time. And it's real out here. It's legit. I realized for me, myself, it was more of a status thing. I've always been as they used to say, a husky guy. You know what I'm saying? And then you got clothes and you'll go to the husky section. I've always been that type of guy. But I've always been cool natured, laid back. My mama raised me that way. And that's just how it is. But for me, it was status. I didn't have a car. I didn't get to go everywhere because my mom didn't play that. If I went somewhere and my boy Cornelius either didn't take me, India or Tristan, if one of them didn't take me, I couldn't go nowhere. That's just how strict my mama was. So it wasn't no need of me trying to holler at nobody anyway, because all we can do is talk on the phone. I mean, I can't come over your house. My mama don't play that mess. We go to no little girl's house. You can't come over my house. My mama don't play that mess. So as I got older and got freer, I started to get into that mode of, the dating game. But I guess because I had been trapped for so long under that stigma that it was hard for me to come out and start adapting. So me, I still watch Power Rangers. No one can sit here and play the radio. Still watch it. I still play video games. I still play Nintendo. I still do all this stuff. But like she said, I can start a business. I can run a business. I can get on the phone and got people from China sending me microphones and ring lights for my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Traveling all over the Southeast, interviewing all types of celebrities, chopping it up with Orlando Jones on IG. I got it. But, I mean, it's just the stigma that comes with it. Female look at me and come in here and see this big behind Super Mario poster, and she gonna be like, you ain't got no sports posters in here? And that's one of the first things they go to is the sports. I watch sports. You know what I'm saying? I watch all 10 episodes of The Last Dance. I watch the NBA and the NFL. I don't watch no hockey, nothing like that. That's for the other people that's a different color. But at the end of the day, that's just me. So I've always said, if you get somebody like me, I ain't out in the streets. If you wake up at night looking for me at night in the bed, 9 times out of 10, I'm either on that computer or I'm playing the game. Or I'm in the house. I ain't ripping and running the streets. I ain't out here in nobody's face and all like that. If you with me, you with me. If you ain't, there's a door you can walk out of straight up. And it took me a while to get like that because I always was the hopeless romantic type person. But now I'm at a point in my life where it's like, it is what it is. I mean, Jeremy, you know how I've been the last couple of months. I've been moving. I've been making a lot of moves and just changing my whole outlook in life. So I even shaved my beard yesterday because it was damaged. So I had to get my life back together. So they're looking at me all confronted. It'll grow back. I'll be a G again. But I mean, that's what I went through in high school. It was then I was in band. That didn't make it no better. And I was in band at Murphy. That definitely didn't make it no better. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. You ain't got to talk to me, but I see you when we get back from Hawaii. I'll holler at you. I might bring you a keychain or something. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But then when I got to college and started marching in the band, that was even different right there. Because now I'm quote unquote in a black band. I made a post the other day. I said, if you could have went to a different high school for your senior year, what high school would you went to? I legit would have went to the flow so I could get some type of experience of just being around people, because when I got to Alabama State and they talking about pick up your legs and much, bro, we ain't do all that at Murphy. It's hot out here. Why we outside? What the water break? No water out there. We ain't get no water break. That man said, we ain't get no water today. This is a travesty, sir. What are you doing? But real talk. I mean, a lot of my stuff comes from how I was raised. I didn't go out a lot. Lauren tell you, I just started going out for real in the last 10 years. Started doing stuff. So even I was in band from middle school all the way to high school, and they already put that stuff like that will put a label on you. Now, if you was in a black band or stuff like that, they're like, oh yeah, you march for the flow, you march for Blunt. I ain't gonna count BC Rank because ain't nobody. You march for Williamson. You march, whoever, whatever the black, you march for Viger. You know what I'm saying? That gave you a status. So that's a big part about it. That status part. I still play my instrument. It still pays me. So yeah, I didn't get to hang around with my cousins a lot, and I look at a lot of them right now. They in unfavorable positions, got 3-4 baby mamas, cheering and all that type of stuff. But I understand as I got older why my mama wouldn't let me go over to the bottom and hang out all the time. Why I couldn't go to PA and hang out all the time. Because I'm in a whole different perspective and whole different position in life than I am now. So status is very important. And growing up, how you grow up. So yeah, that's all I agree with you,
bro. I appreciate you sharing that, because you and I grew up a lot alike in that aspect of growing up kind of being left inside, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
When there's a lot of growing to be had and maturing with our people. Because
I just got cable for the first time. I just got cable like 2 weeks ago. We had cable growing up. That's why you think I watched so many cartoons. What the hell else was on TV?
You catching up. I feel you.
1,000%. Food Network every day.
Bruh, stay on that. Yeah. But I feel you, bro, because if I could have, everybody know, this is gonna get out. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I hated my high school because I grew up in Tomanville. Right. I grew up in Tomanville. So I went to Farmville. I went to Booker T. But then my grandmother passed, so I had to move to Theodore. So I had to go to Theodore High School. Culture shock. Absolute culture shock. You go from being all blacks to minority blacks. Yeah. And you're in the country. So it's a completely different dynamic. So
when you was wearing a mask.
Right. So I wish I could have gone to like LaFleur before I went to A&M, because like you're saying, A&M was a culture shock for me, because going from majority white. So let me step back. Going from majority black to majority white, back to majority black. Right. I had to get used to black people again. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the God honest truth.
See, for me, it was going majority white elementary school. I get to 6th grade, I go to Paul McPillen. It was the worst year of school of my life. It was hell. There was niggas at that school. There wasn't no children. Those were niggas. Then 7th to 8th grade, I go to Dunbar. So it's a happy, wonderful land. Everybody playing music and dancing. You thought it was an episode of Glee. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Then I go to Murphy. So it's like, it's a good hand. It's a lot of black folks, and there's also a lot of white folks at the same time. And then I go to Bama State with nothing but So it was a massive shift to try to understand it. Like, I legit, first day of pre-drill, we up at 4:00 in the morning outside. I got home. I got back in my dorm the night. I called my sister crying. She said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I should have went to the floor. I don't know what I'm doing out here." Like, somebody come get me. I'm ready to go home. Like, that shit was rough. But culture shock, man. Culture shock.
Right. Fact.
Can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so funny, because what he was saying about the whole cultural thing with the band, because I went to Murphy, I was in the band, I was on color guard, and I played the flute. And I went to middle school at Scarborough. Just like he said, his middle school was the worst experience of his life because there was some niggas. I went to Scarborough. I walked home every day crying. Because I was not raised the same way that some of those people were raised. So when I got to Murphy, I felt more comfortable. But then I left there and I went to Alabama A&M. So I got the best of both worlds, like DeAndre said. He got to college and was like, woo, this different.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What year were you in the band at Murphy?
I graduated in 2005.
Oh, so when I got
That's
there, you was already
2005.
gone.
Hey.
You was already gone.
But I went to Alabama A&M. I was in the chorus, and I had a bunch of friends in the band. We definitely ain't picking up no feet at the band, so you had to relearn all over again.
There ain't no relearn. You had to learn. It was a different ball game.
You had to learn. Squeezing the grade was perfect. That ain't squeezing the grade.
You know all my folks. You know Turk, Ebony. You know Cornelius. You know all my folks. So yeah. We family.
But the way you're raised really does open your pool, your selection of the type of people in your life and how you date. Because people who were, not to be stereotypical, but people who went to LaFleur, majority of those people, they stayed in Thomasville. So their dating pool was not the nerdy guy. It was no nerdy guy in their pool, because the nerdy guy might have came to high school nerdy, but by the time he gets to 10th, 11th
When
grade,
is my turn?
he's not nerdy.
Let me get you together, boo.
Come on, Lauren.
I've been holding my tongue, Lord.
Come on.
Come on,
Wait, I ain't gonna let them. They done said LaFleur. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, I mean the floor is
reclaiming my time.
I was like, do I need to put the finger up like in church?
Baby, look,
LaFleur is the standard. LaFleur is the standard black school. Okay, it's the standard black school.
No offense, because baby, y'all run too deep to be offended. We is not trying to offend you. Okay.
Wait a minute. Do you see my nails? I always leave this orange and green. What you mean?
See what I mean?
Lauren, you better be grateful, because you know we supposed to go to BC Rain now. You know we stay around the corner from each other. You know what we supposed to do.
So I just want to kind of dive right in. DeAndre didn't dip that. I don't know what he went to. So I just want to tell you from my perspective, because I feel like a lot of this is hearing from, like, I guess the quote unquote nerdy girl, nerdy guy kind of thing. I grew up, I was always the popular kid. It wasn't like an intentional. I'm just the same bubbly person that I am now. I've been like this my whole life. So people always flock to the energy, I guess, so to speak, to say. I went to O'Shea Road, which is white, black, mixed school. And I went to Dunbar, which is the mixed school. So my culture shock came to high school when I went to LaFleur. I was like, why are these black people so loud? Why they use so much ghetto language? What is going on? Why are they so crunk at the pep rally? Like, who is this? What is going on? Why they got these color earrings on? Why they got the same eyeshadow match? And why they in what is this ghetto clique, hood clique, nerdy clique? What is this? Because I went to, like I said, I went to Dunbar, like he said. We played music, we sung, we danced, we did all this stuff that was musically inclined. So it was hard to get disguised as a quote unquote nerd, because we all did it. We didn't have no choice. Everybody danced, everybody sang, everybody was in a band. You know, you had to strap them tap shoes on your top of your shoe at the bottom, and you had tap class. You know, so you did all this stuff going to a performing arts school. So when I switched going to high school, that was my culture shock. And then after I got that culture shock, I couldn't get enough. Then I went to Tuskegee. So I realized, like, wow, I really love black people. Didn't even realize that I didn't know what my culture was, because I was so used to being around mixed cultures. Well, I was always the black girl that said, oh, she talks white. What does that even mean? You know? So that was an issue for me, because people always assumed I was either the mean girl, or people always assumed I wanted a football player, or because I was a cheerleader, you know, because I was a dancer. People always assumed all of these things. And I actually liked the nerdy guy. But nerdy guys didn't like me. They were either scared of me. They thought I wanted something, like Malcolm said, the girl who left the football player and slid back to me. They thought that I was that type of girl. Or once I did actually when they got to realize how smart or how intelligent I was, they couldn't believe that this girl that was this pretty was actually smart too. She wasn't dumb. She wasn't hood, you know. So I wasn't a nerdy. I was just good at everything. Yeah, I wasn't ghetto. The ratchet. I wasn't that. So they couldn't believe that. Oh, she's pretty and she's smart. Where did this come from? Well, she must want something from me. So I got a lot of that. They always assumed I wanted something from them. I wanted to use them. And when I actually decided to date one, it was always became like a sexual thing. It was like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. So I've never had this. So I wonder if she's going to let me try that. Or they were so used to being nerds in high school that when they got some little change or they got a little status, when they got to college, they reinvented themselves. They changed. They was like, oh, okay, well, now I'm the drum major now. Yeah, I was in a band, but I'm the drum major now, so I'm running this thing. So there goes the ego. So the nerdy guys that I liked or I came in encounter with always wanted to prove something, or they couldn't accept the fact that I genuinely liked you for you. So they wanted to prove something, or they thought it was a joke if I wanted them. So that's what I went to, and I ended up marrying a nerdy guy in a different race. You see what I'm saying? Because I tried. I didn't really like the hood guy because I couldn't get past the splashing their money. Yeah, you need to show everybody your money. I couldn't get past. I don't listen to hood music all the time. I like my country. I like my classical music. People think I'm crazy because I love classical music. That's what calm my nerves. That's what helped me study. That's what make my babies go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So people they weren't musically inclined. They didn't like the arts. So I couldn't get with them. And then the nerdy guys, they was like, wow, she goes toe to toe with me in the argument. That was too much of a challenge for them. You see what I'm saying? So it was almost like she said, everybody has a type. It became, well, hell, the types that I like didn't like me. So I just was like, well, forget it. I just rather date somebody who accepts me for me. The no makeup, the ratchetness when I want to have a ratchet moment. What I'm saying? The beauty queen if I want to beat my face down, put my lashes on. I wanted somebody who can take me from every aspect of my life versus just who I am with makeup on or sitting pretty. You know what I'm saying? So that was my take on it. And LaFleur was a little bit ratchet, but we is deep, so.
So I got two things from that. Basically, yes. Your high school life was the plot to Love Don't Cost a Thing. And, I think I forgot my second thing. Your second thing was you said, you know what, I'm tired of you colors. And then you kept on moving.
That damn right. That's
I just wanted to
and you know what's crazy? I mean, it's not like, what's interesting is, I think the thing that hurts my feelings the most is my real friends or people who've been around me didn't even realize that I dated outside my race. I've been dating, my first boyfriend was white, and I was in the 6th grade. You see what I'm saying? So I never seen color. I just always was really for somebody who liked me for me, that didn't accept me for what they see. You know what I'm saying? And I like the whole, I mean, who says I wouldn't want to marry a black person? If that was who fell in love with me or who treated me right or, anything like that, I definitely would have been like, oh yeah, I'll marry you. But if it was a Jamaican or a Mexican, I would have married them too. I just happened to marry an Asian, So to me, it was more so somebody who accepted me and didn't expect anything from me. You see what I'm saying? Because people always come into things for expectation. They expect you to be a certain kind of way. And for me, I mean, I'm just the same. I need somebody to be able to be my quiet after my storm, because I'm the storm sometimes. Mm-hmm. So that's all. I'm gonna mute myself.
No, I appreciate you. I was actually gonna pick at you a little bit. I appreciate you giving that insight, because do you feel that, as far as other women who identify as being different, do you feel like they are fetishized as well, and that can cause somebody to kind of step outside and get kind of detached from dating as a whole?
I think as women, and we don't have anywhere to dump that pressure. You see what I'm saying? We don't have anybody to, in a sense, confide in. Of course, you have your family, but I'm saying like an actual person, a companion that you can actually love, respect, and have somebody that you can be there. You can't really, unless you got somebody that's with a like mind, you can't really I guess, connect on a certain level. Like, for instance, I love nutrition, but if my husband doesn't want to work out, what that leave me? I mean, we different, but I mean, if I have a nutrition business, I mean, you're gonna have to be my person. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to be my example, because I can't say, yeah, this product's works, or you drink this, and my husband won't even, you know what I'm saying, do it. You see what I'm saying? So you have to have somebody that's willing to go the extra mile. Whether you want to sell jewelry, sell a shade, have a podcast, you know, your wife need to be able to learn how to edit that video if your person counsel. You see what I'm saying? You need to have somebody that's gonna be together with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing for me. So I think it's more than, I think women they're settling. I feel like a lot of us are settling because they're like, well, I don't know if they'll like me. I didn't expect to marry an Asian again. I didn't even know they dated outside of race. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So when my husband was like, yeah, he got a black baby mama. I don't know if that's a good child's mother. His son's mother is, black. So, I was shocked. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, wait, I didn't even know they dated black people. When you go to the nail shop, they eat together, talk together, stay together, it's all together. I did the same stereotype, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you just have to, I think it's the way you grow up too. I think it's the way you grow up and what you accept. And I just went finna settle.
Hey, so. Respect. I appreciate that, because you took basically the point that we were trying to make, and you kind of slapped that shit out the wind. You was like, nah, fam, it's all about compatibility. And I appreciate that, like we need more conversations like these, because like I said, Malcolm and I have had dozens upon dozens upon dozens of these intellectual conversations regarding this issue, but we just didn't know how to bring it to the forefront. So I was glad when he actually put out the post, and it kind of just set people we know on fire. It pissed some people off. It made some people talk, but in the end, everybody talking, and it got everybody here. So,
but in actuality, everybody had something to say, but who on this call? You see what I'm saying? Everybody have so much of opinion, but they don't know how to actually voice their opinion. I don't have a problem standing behind what I do, what I believe. It's easy for you to say something and say, oh yeah, I have an opinion about this, but are you living this? Are you being your true self? Like she said, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't feel the need to, if you're going to comment on the post, I mean, I feel like you should be able to get in the forefront or a forum and have that, have dialect about it, to see different perspective as to how, it's going to work. So,
do you think that comes with the mindset of just wanting to be in the limelight at the moment? Do you think it's like following a trend? Because that's kind of what I felt about that post. I think as more people saw other people saying that they would like to participate, other people started commenting. And I found that interesting. And it's kind of disheartening as well, because it makes me feel like some people aren't really into the conversation that they're saying. So I'm just going to be quite frank with it. That's really fake to me. If you're just quoting or putting yourself out there just because you see other people doing it and it's not something you really believe in or willing to defend, what does that say about your character and what you believe in? So
I think that also says something about, they just not really interested. You can scroll down Facebook all day and you can choose to like somebody post, and you can not. You can read it, laugh at it, and it's funny, or you know what I'm saying, you have an opinion about something. It's a choice.
Right.
Some people chose to, respond and some people didn't. However, I do feel like in your response, for you to be so opinionated, or to be not a Twitter thug, a Facebook thug, I call them when they be going toe to toe and back to back with people for no reason. You're trying to prove a point when you actually, what is your point that you're trying to prove? Are you trying to make me believe what you're saying, or are you trying to push your thoughts on mine? Because it don't matter. We're two different people. It's okay to have different perspectives of things. You see what I'm saying? And people don't really like to have different perspectives. They kind of just push their idea on you. So, sorry, I be talking with my hands. You can't see them.
Oh, it's all right. That's what the border does for. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get everybody webcams one day. All right. And shout out to Miss Katie for coming in and joining us. I thought you weren't gonna come. I was getting worried. I'm like, dang man, she ain't gonna come. Good.
No, I didn't know that it was like right now. I didn't know that. So I was like, I was already out, and I was just like, oh. So when I see my email, I was like, he's in it? Like, oh my God. So I'm sorry.
Where you from? You got an accent.
Yeah.
I'm originally from California, but I lived down south in Alabama for 10 years.
Girl, it's still there.
Yeah. You know.
You can't deny it. It's gone.
I'm Calabamian. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds dope.
That's a big word.
Alabamian. Get Drake to make that a song. I feel like Drake should make that a track.
Cali to Alabama.
Needs to hear from you.
I think Childish Gambino is cool, honestly. He is a little weird, but I don't see what that has to do with race. People like to say all the time that, oh, black girls don't like this, and black girls don't like that, and black girls ain't gonna date this, and black girls ain't gonna date that because ain't no black girl did it. And I'm like, first of all, your circle is only like fucking 6 people. So you don't know what, like, you know, black people are gonna do. You don't know what black women are gonna do. Yeah, we got some weird ass black people too. I'm weird as fuck. As the fuck. So you can't sit here and base the entire race on your 6 people in your circle. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And they're just trying to find reasons and excuses to tear somebody down. And honestly, it's not even that serious. It's not, honestly. Especially the ones who are talking the most shit. Those are the people who are most likely single. And they don't have anybody. They don't really know anybody. And they're just to themselves at this point. And they just want to just spew their misery and hatred and all on everybody else because they can't find no black man, or they can't find this, or they can't do that, so they don't like this and they don't like that. No. Because if you focus on yourself, guess what you ain't gonna do? Talk on somebody else. And you minding somebody else. Why are you minding somebody else's business in the first place? You know? And on top of that, I'm just like, he's woke, doing his thing, living his life. He made his song. I was with the shit when he was doing it. I mean, like, come on, live your life. And then it's like, oh, he's with a white girl. And it's like, honestly, when I was younger and I was single, it was just like, oh my God. But then, like, you know, once you find somebody and you're happy and you just like notice that everything around you is great and you start minding your own business, you don't really talk that much shit to anybody, or you really don't do anything. You're just like, oh, okay, well, he found who he wanted to be with, you know? And then on top of that, we also have to speak about when people, when you ask black guys why they date outside their race, and it's very common to put the black woman down and then say, oh, because they're this, they're that, they're da-da-da-da-da, instead of just saying, I just fell in love with this person. Just like what Miss Lauren was saying, you know, she's like, compatibility, bitch. This is what the fuck I want. He works for me. I work for him. We gonna work together. We gonna make this do the damn thing, you know? But you don't have to put down any other race. You don't have to put down anybody for any of that. And like, you know, if black people want to sit up here and say, oh, well, he just married a white person, da, 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 then that's his fucking business. Guess what the fuck he doing with his kids? He went to go pick up his daughter from fucking daycare. They went for ice cream, bitch. That's what they did. And what you doing? You over there sitting there lonely, trying to figure out what the fuck you finna eat for tonight because you can't afford nothing but a damn hamburger and a meatball. So instead of worry about everybody else and what they doing, mind your goddamn business. If he want to date somebody, let him date some fucking body. Just let people live their life. That's all you gotta do.
Right.
You don't worry about no motherfucking body or no motherfucking thing. So if you mind yours, guess what? You might actually be able to find some goddamn body. Because honestly, when it comes to me, I'm that type of person, you know, I wanted a black guy. That's what I wanted. I wanted to build my kingdom with my black king. That's what I wanted to do. And I wasn't like, oh, well, this is going to be my last black man before I go to somebody else. Oh, this is going to be... No. I waited patiently, goddamn. And not with my legs closed, but I waited. Goddamn. So I got my shit. I got my king, and I'm living my motherfucking life. And guess what the fuck I'm doing? I'm minding my motherfucking business because I ain't got time for nobody fucking else. So if Childish Gambino want to live his goddamn life, guess what the fuck he going to do with all of his money and his wife and his daughter?
Look, so I'm snapping all that shit. Look,
I
That
feel
was
like
real.
people make it a race thing because they're still trying to remember the past too. I feel like people always bring it back to how white people treated us or how a certain race treated us or what situation happened in, at a certain time. And I feel like they keep bringing a race. They make a race umbrella over everything. And I'm not just saying it because I married somebody Asian. First of all, he's a minority too. We're two of the most hated race, to me, in my opinion, in the world. People are always saying something about Asian, people are always saying something about black people. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the white race in general, or people put them on a pedestal. People feel like they're superior. So people always feel like it's a stigma against blacks dating them. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's the only issue. I think if he was dating a Hispanic person, they wouldn't have said nothing. If he was dating an Asian woman, look at who is that? Jock? Is that Jock? Who is that? Jeezy? Who dating that Asian lady? G.
Drake.
Jeezy. Hell, I don't know. One of them black men with the bald head that rap. He good. I like him. But whoever he is, I can't even think of his name right now. Lord, they gonna talk about me, but oh well.
Jesus,
the girl
snowman,
from the
better represent.
You see what I'm saying? They try to down him. But if you listen to what he said, he's an educated man, and he wanted somebody, like I said, compatible. He wanted somebody that was on the same level mentally and spiritually and physically with him. You see what I'm saying? I feel like they keep trying to make it a race thing because that's just not their preference.
I mean,
so, like
when
you
it
said,
comes,
you made a statement. You said you didn't just give up on your one black man. You kept on looking before you went to another race. I feel you, because baby, I was gonna build me something. I have a child with a black man, so it's not that I married an Asian because I hate blacks. It's just this is the person I fell in love with. You see what I'm saying? But I feel like when they see people interracial, that's what they assume. They just got fed up,
right.
And it sucks, But I mean, that's what it is. But if they,
look, damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you know what they're gonna do. They gonna talk. Even if you had a black man, they gonna talk. If you had a tall man, short man, big dick man, little big dick man, little man, they don't give a shit. Baby, they gonna all night, all day. Okay? And so stupid. And when it
I think that's the only thing I heard. I know that's horrible. I was like, no, not the little one. I'm sorry. I'm mad. Yeah.
And I mean, one thing you never want to do when it comes to your people.
Thank God that stereotype ain't true.
you never.
I said it out loud. Sorry.
You never want to forget where you came from. Because yeah, like we came from years of slavery. We came from years of I'm not even gonna get all into it, but we came from that. And how, just like you said, how we were raised, not only by our parents, but how we were raised by society and all conditioned. Yes, and conditioned. So you never want to forget that. And many people always want us to forget where we came from and what happened because they're guilty. They don't want to talk about it because it's just why you keep bringing it up. I'm going to use a race card. Yes, bitch, I'm going to use a race card because I'm black and I'm being held back. That's just what it is. Period. But you also have to understand. But you also have to understand that even in that time, they have people dating outside of their race. You have black people risking their lives to go date some white folks. You have people dating Asian folks. You got all kind of Blurmanese and shit. Black from Germany. Baby, look.
I dated a black and German guy.
There you go. Live your life. Whatever.
I'm telling you, every race, the mutts, I dated them all mixtures. I like
live your life.
So,
date whoever you want to date. Be whoever you want to be.
I think a lot of the one I want to say this before Ebony say so sorry. I just like the way your name's still up there. Sorry. Before, the one thing my best friend told me, one of the statements she said, she's like, I can't believe I don't think they will like me. That was a statement she made when she thinks about she doesn't date outside of her race, not because she doesn't want to, but because she don't think they like her or they would talk to her, because it's so, like I said, it's so a stigma that race stay with race, this race stay with that race, they don't mix. So I mean, I know that's a lot. I know for my friends, that's a lot of the reason why they don't even try, because they're too worried about what everybody else thinks. You see what I'm saying? So that's a big thing. As far as that, and he just happened to be a black guy who didn't care. And he just happened to wear comic book shirts and sweatpants all the time. So I mean, that kind of makes you weird. See, look at that one. It's weird. So, and look at that one with the Ranger hat on. Weird. You know, I mean, they just happen to look like that, you know. But I mean, you got, like you said, if people talk about you, I'm short, and then my husband like 6'5". I mean, we like little big. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, right. I know it's not even typical for Asian, so I thought I was gonna have a little person, but it's just, you see what I'm saying? It's just I'm talking about the, oh my gosh, I'm talking about the height right now. So, no, but for real though, I just feel like people trying to make it more than what it is. How we know she ain't Russian? Is she Russian? His wife.
Talking about the wife? I don't know. I didn't even dig it up, to be honest with you.
Right, and that's the point I'm making. I'm like, who cares? She just, how we know she just ain't got no pigment disorder? Like, you know, she ain't albino or nothing. How we know she
might be Czechoslovakian?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if she a Victoria's Secret model from somewhere? I don't know. That's all I'm saying. We just don't know.
Right.
You know, she just light skinned.
What you say to E Breezy?
I mean, like I missed the single ladies ride, so I feel like everybody that said my point times 10. They've said everything that needed to be said. It has been laid, and the house is ready to be built because we've already got the foundation. It's already done.
Go ahead and build the house, Breezy. Go ahead and build the house. You already laid the foundation. Build the house. Let's go.
I mean, but even from my perspective, like, I haven't been really dating for real, so I don't feel like I can really put much input on it, like, as of right now. But even from high school, I was attracted to the nerds, but I was the good girl that was just gung-ho on being the virgin until I got married. So even from that perspective, I thought I was going to marry a preacher. So in some people's eyes,
you might... worst one. Don't run from it.
I found out, but I feel like even with the
you thought you was gonna be Whitney Houston and the preacher's wife.
I really did. Like, don't even lie. I'm so serious. I thought I was with Whitney Houston reincarnated. But like, I really did think that there was a stigma, but I felt like most of it was, like y'all said, it was based on perception. It's based on what makes you feel good from what you experienced as a child. It's based on whether you were basically brought up in love or survival. So if you were brought up in a household where you basically had that survival mentality, then of course you're going to be looking for that man that has the status. You're going to be looking for that woman that has the status or can help you get the status. If you were somebody that was brought up in love, 9 times out of 10, you're looking for love. You're looking for that compatibility. But there's also that chance where you can grow up and your mindset can change based on the environment that you're in. So like all of y'all had already said, I feel like all of those factors put together does build the house of what the basic problem is. But I feel like as far as the nerd, I feel like just being a nerd is just anybody that's comfortable being in their skin and saying, take me as I am. Hey, I got this, you know what I'm saying? I play video games. Take me as I am. Hey, I like to play on the computer all night. Take me as I am. Hey, I like to play my instrument. Take me as I am. Hey, I like to go to church every Sunday. And then I go on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday too. Take me as I am. A nerd is just anybody that's comfortable in their own skin. That's really what I feel like. So, there go my little 5-second piece.
That was good.
Building the house.
Girl, you put the roof on that thing. You see that smoke come out that chimney, baby? Because you did that little 5 seconds. Okay.
A chimney. Yo, I really appreciate this conversation because that is something I had a problem with before. I remember vividly, I went to my first sweetheart dance and I took a picture with a friend of mine that was white. And not to throw shade at my family, but a few people in my family approached me and was like, yo, you couldn't take a picture with a black girl?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but this is my friend. Like, what difference does it make? And
how they grew up, they trying to throw it on you. That's the point I was making. See, I went through that too.
Yeah,
I went through that dating. Like I said, the first guy I dated was white, but his grandparents were racist. So it was like, it was conditioning him. So he would have to hide me, or in a sense. And luckily I sounded how I sounded. So they didn't expect anything. You know what I'm saying? But it's so conditioned in him that he ended up marrying white, because even though he dated high school, all black people, middle school, all these black people, you know, he couldn't bring them home. You know, they couldn't have like no pictures the way it was on social media or something, because it was like real deal. I always felt like, you know how you just feel uncomfortable? No, that was just one of those things I wasn't gonna touch. And I know for me, that was a race that even though I dated, I don't know if I could marry, because of just things that's in my mind, you know, just instilled, you know, just from the past, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it sucks, because people, like you said, they look at a picture, they was like, so you don't, you know, black people you can talk to? You know, you don't see, you know, and you can see that now. My daughter, I'll give you an instance. My daughter was outside, and she just happened to say, it was a little white girl. She's playing with a white girl. She said, "Mommy, can I go play with the white girl?" And my neighbors heard her. They white. They heard. They was like, "Wow." She said, "White girl." I said, "Well, what color you wanted her to say?" She is white. You know, like, I said, "You better be glad she said white, because she used to call y'all clear." Like, you know, come on. She's a child, and
right.
She's identifying by color. You know what I'm saying? They don't know as a Caucasian. You know, she's a child. You know what I'm saying? So even in that moment, to me, I felt like my neighbors, I feel like that was kind of like a jab, or like a racist stigmatism in a sense, because what do you expect a child to say? So I feel like at a young age, people are that's being instilled, just like you said, with your parents. Well, I mean, you're not your parents, but just in general, your family members, about taking a picture with a white person, or just any race. So I don't know. I think they only make a big deal when they're white. Honestly, I don't think they say anything when they're Hispanic or Asian, or I think they get a little backlash, but not as much as it is when it's a black man doing it, or a black woman doing it.
Right. I'll be honest with you. The experience of trying to date a white woman, like here in Alabama, my experiences, I only tried twice. It was so stressful. I just didn't do it anymore. I was just like, I can't do it. It's too much. It's, you know, and that's horrible. You know what I'm saying? Because
you have to have an extra skin to date outside your race. I don't care what anybody say.
Yeah. Extra thick.
You have to have the extra layer. Because like I said, I've been through it.
Right.
Yeah. I've had black guys walk behind me and a white boyfriend in the mall, saying racial slurs. I had them saying racial slurs. Oh, he doesn't have the same size as I got. Oh, you just with him for his money. I mean, I've dealt with it all. So you have to have a type of skin. But luckily, he was one of those white guys that, quote unquote, you know, act black, I guess. So he was ready to fight. It wasn't that deep to me. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like it's based on how you're raised, what area you raised in. Because just like I said, people say, "Oh, Lauren talks white." What does that mean? Oh, that black guy. Oh, this white guy, he had sags and slants. So that means he trying to be black. Why? Because his pants don't fit on his butt. You see what I'm saying? It's always a stereotype and a stigma with everything. So I just feel like people just gonna always have an opinion, like you said. So
I think that was pretty much, like you said, y'all done put the chimney on that motherfucker and the doormat. So I want to give everybody a chance to kind of shout out what they do. Like, if, you know, majority of us are business owners. Actually, all of us are. We're all entrepreneurs in a sense. So starting with Lauren, go ahead and plug what you do, girl.
Hey guys, I am an Herbalife distributor. I am owner of Mind, Body, and Wellness Nutrition. I specialize in shakes, skin, and all things healthy.
So I am a sport hip-hop artist, 1/8 of Lines Poetry, 1/2 of Novocaine. I also host podcast, 1/2 of The Safe Word with my girl Mystique. And then I'm also 1/3 of The South Got Something to Say that drops every Monday. Safe Word drops every first and third Friday on SoundCloud. You listen to The South Got Something to Say on all your favorite podcasts.
Well, you know, you can catch me swinging around New York, you know what I'm saying, saving niggas and shit. I don't know, this shit kind of hot. Whew. I just revealed identity of Spider-Man on this podcast. Anywho, my name is Malcolm Banks. I am the owner of Fandoms Anonymous. Put my glasses on so I can see everybody. I am the owner of Fandoms Anonymous. It's a YouTube channel. You can find me everywhere, all over social media. Check out some of my interviews with some of the greatest celebrities I've ever met. I hope one day we can go to comic conventions again because I miss them. That's all.
No.
That is. Miss Katie, go ahead and let us know something, sweetheart. And again, thank you for tiptoeing on in here. We appreciate you.
I do that bit. Hi everybody. I have a podcast. It's called Live Your Life. And I speak about life, everything in it. Just got done doing a mini series on relationships, which is a high coincidence here. And I am a babysitter. I love kids. I plan on opening up my own daycare this year. And I do makeup.
All right, beating faces and all that. I'm with it, girl. Do your thing. Hey. All right. E Breezy. What up, girl? Go ahead and let them know. Don't think you was getting off the hook. Come on now.
Hi, the people. How y'all doing? My name is Ebony Bradley. I hail from the streets of Moss Point, Mississippi. You don't know where it is, Google that. You know what I'm saying? We on the map. We just right at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? I write, preferably poetry. I'm trying to dabble into a couple other type of projects as of right now. I am also a member of Black on Black Rhyme, Step to the Mic Poetry Troupe of Mobile, Alabama. Also, I am a member of the 2020 podcast. Do a little this and that, just holler at your girl. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of the things. I'm on all of the things. Look me up.
That is. And of course, I am your illustrious host, Sirr, and this is my assistant, Marilyn. Say hello, Marilyn.
Hello, Marilyn.
Hello, Marilyn.
So, but no, I appreciate everybody who tuned in, everyone who took out time out of their night to come and have this conversation. And honestly, I look forward to doing this again. Now that y'all done came in here, we friends now. So when I start sending y'all invites to stuff, just come on and jump in. So again, this has been your boy, Sirr, 2020 podcast. We all bit. You.